Hi everyone, welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture, we will continue our project 2 on multiple linear regression. So what we have done till now, basically in the part 1, we have created a data set using make regression function. And then we have extracted the value of features and we have extracted the value of labels. So we can see that we have 3 features and we have a label. Now, there is a difference here. The difference is these features are without any name. Any names mean, if we remember our salary dataset, the name of the features was years of experience and year of education. And similarly, the name of target was a salary. Similarly, if we have a dataset relating to the housing price, in that case, the name of features would be the area of the house, the number of bedrooms of the house, or maybe the location of house, and then y or target value will be the price of house. So what we are going to do now is we are going to assign the name to that feature, that is name to each feature, and similarly we are going to assign a name to the target value. So what are the names? So basically we are transforming our data into data frames with columns research, salaries, infrastructure, and expenditure. So we are going to assign a name research to our feature 1, salaries to our feature 2, infrastructure to our feature 3, and expenditure to our target variable, which is y. In this way, we are transforming this random data set into some data set of a company which is doing a research, which have some infrastructure and which have some employees. So this company is calculating the expenditures based on research, the salaries of the employee, and the infrastructure of the company. So here the expenditure is the dependent quantity and which is dependent upon research, salaries, and infrastructure. So what I am going to do, I am assigning the name research to my first feature. So you can see that the Python index starts from 0. So here I am extracting the value of first feature and put it into a research. Now, similarly, I am assigning a name salaries to my second feature, and I am assigning a name infrastructure to my third feature. Okay, now what I am going to do here. So let's run this cell. So I have a research now, I have a salaries now, and I have a infrastructure now. Now, if we want to see our feature, we can see that these are our features value. So these values are randomly generated and they are in the negative and the positive. So what I am going to do, I am transforming a new values for the research, for the salaries, and for the infrastructure. So basically, if we can see that we are transforming the value of a research between 0 and 2000. So the new range for this feature is between 0 and 2000. So for this, I am using a function interpolation. So this is a short form of interpolation. It is present in NumPy. So how we use interpolation function in order to change the value of a research between 0 and 2000. So if we go back, this is our research column. Our first column is a research column. Here the values are different from 0 to 2000. There is no value which is exactly equals to 0, and there is no value which is exactly equals to 2000 in our original form. So here we are transforming this research value and we are selecting the range between 0 and 2000. So the first input to this np.interpolation function is the research. That is the feature for which we are going to set a new range. Then this is the important part. Here, the minimum value of a research is set to be 0 and the maximum value of a research set to be 2000. So let's run this cell and let's see our research. So we can see that now all these values are positive and they are between 0 and 2000. So what we have done till now, that we have transformed our first feature into a research feature. So basically we have assigned a name research to our first feature and we have set the range of this feature between 0 and 2000. Let's do it for the other features as well. So the second feature is our salaries. So here we are setting the range of salaries between 0 and 1500. We are again using the same np.interpolation function. Now the input is the feature for which we are going to set the values between 0 and 1500. Let's run this cell and similarly do it for the infrastructure. And here we can see that the value of infrastructure is between 0 and 2500. Next, what we have to do is we have to do the same for the Y. So Y is our expenditure here. So we are interpolating here. The value is between 6,000 and 20,000 because the expenditures are not zeros. So the minimum value is 6,000 and maximum value of expenditure is 20,000. So here we can see the shape of a Y. We can confirm that since we have 100 samples, so we have 100 targets. Here we can observe the value of a Y. So Y is also in different values. So here we are setting the value of Y between 6,000 and 20,000. Here we are assigning a name expenditure to Y. So this is our transform data. So we are using pd.data frame. So our columns are now research, salaries, infrastructure, and expenditure. So let's run this cell and see the DF. So student, you can see that we have transformed the random data which we have created using make regression function into a data of a company. So we have a research, our first feature, salary, our second feature, infrastructure as a third feature, and this is our expenditure. So these are the three features of this data set, and this is the expenditure. So this is a very important thing. Other than the multiple regression, in this lecture, you are learning that how to transform the random data into a real data, which represent the data for some company or some college or some university. Now our features are research, salaries, infrastructure, and our target value is expenditure. So we started from a random data and we have transformed it to a real data. Now let's visualize and inspect each feature. So what is the purpose of this visualization and inspection of each feature? Basically, we want to see that which feature has high influence on the expenditure, whether expenditure are more depend on salaries, research, or on infrastructure. Definitely, every feature has influence on expenditure, but we learn that when we have more than one feature, the influence may be different. Maybe there are features which have more influence than the other features. So in order to find the influence, in order to see the influence, definitely we will calculate the weights associated with the each features as well. But first we can visualize and inspect the role of each feature on expenditure. So what I am going to do here, I am setting a subplot here. I need one row and I need 3 columns. So I need 3 columns because I have 3 features. The size of my figure is 16 by 6. This will be the super title of my figure, which is inspecting each feature. So here I am plotting my first feature, which is research against the expenditure. So I am plotting expenditure against the research with this color. This is my Y label, that is expenditure, and this is my X label, which is research. So in the second column, because we have 3 columns, so in the subplot or in the second location of the subplot, I am plotting expenditure against the salaries. And then in the third column, I am plotting expenditure against the infrastructure. So in all these 3 locations of my subplot, I am plotting expenditure, which is the output quantity against the feature, that is research, salary, and infrastructure. Let's run this cell to see this effect. So we can see that we are inspecting features here. So this is our research, this is our salary, and this is our infrastructure. If we see independent feature, we can see that it is easy to fit a straight line on this salary feature. So here we have a relation between salary and expenditure. We can see that here the relation is more as compared to other 2 features, which are infrastructure and research. So the salary is highly correlated with the expenditure. So we can see that if we want to set a straight line, it is easy to set a straight line here as compared to infrastructure and research. So what we are expecting now, we are expecting now that when we will apply a linear regression and we will be able to calculate the weight of each feature. So the highest weight should be of a salary. Then the second value of the weight should be for infrastructure, and the lower value of the weight should be assigned on a research because it is not very much linearly assigned with the expenditure. So the expenditure is mostly depend upon the salary, which is shown in this visual inspection. So we can see that before applying a linear regression, the visual inspection is very important. The importance of visual inspection is that before calculating the weight, we will be able to know which feature is more important or which feature has more influence on the output feature or on the target. So we can see that our target value is expenditure and salary is the feature which has more influence on this target value as compared to any other. So I stop this lecture here. I will continue this project 2 in the next lecture. See you there.